Okay, so I do want y'all to unmute for a few seconds in just a minute. I'm not going to make you do anything crazy, so don't panic. But I am so glad you're here today. We are ending January. And so I know there's a lot of emotions that come with the end of the month, right? Sometimes we're super excited and we've hit those goals. And sometimes we're like, oh, I didn't hit the goal. But so I want you to take 30 seconds and I want you to think about those frustrations, write them down if you need to, whatever, think about them, and then push them on out because we're not going to sit there today, right? It's okay to grieve the loss of that goal, but we have to move forward. So take just a second. Think about that. Okay. So when you think about that, not hitting that goal, how does that make you feel? Are you frustrated? Are you paralyzed? I don't know. Think about how you're feeling. Anybody want to share how they're feeling when they don't hit that goal? And maybe you did hit your goals this month, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But when you don't hit your goals, how do you feel? That's where you can unmute and chat with me. Anyone?
So I tend to set really high goals with the understanding that at least if I reach high, then maybe I'll get half of what I'm looking for. And so even if I don't meet them, I still try to let it roll over to the next month. And I say, you know what? I did half of what I said I was going to do. That's more than I did at the beginning of the month. So I just try to let it motivate me and not just make me mad.
I think that is wonderful. And I wish I could be more like you in that, where I just go, hey, but I did this, this, and this. And that's what I was going to lead into next is talk about, think about what are some goals you hit this month. Maybe you didn't hit your rank goal, but maybe there's other goals. Maybe you showed up to one of these calls and you haven't shown up before, or maybe you've shown up to all the calls, or maybe you worked your income producing activities daily, or maybe you did 3 out of 5 days a week, or maybe it's one day, but it's more than last month. What are some things that you are celebrating this month? Because there are things to celebrate, whether you hit that rank goal, whether you got that, that runner on your team, whatever it is, what is something that you feel like you can celebrate this month? And I want to hear from all of you on this one, if possible.
Well, I'll speak up. I attended the Bob Heilig seminar workshop.
Right.
And that I've done several of his in the past, but it always gives me kind of a shot in the arm for, let's keep going or let's start going again.
Right.
So I'm glad that I did that. So
Good job.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I love that it pushes you forward to keep moving forward, right? Like to either start again or to keep moving. And I love that. That's great. Who else? Addie, did you have one? I don't want to put you on the spot. If not, it's okay.
Well,
I thought you raised your
contradictory.
hand.
Well, I was just have my hand in my mouth, but it's sort of contradictory to what you're asking. So I added a new VIP, so I should be celebrating, but I am not because of all the things I have not done, like how I'm not showing up and not doing this and not doing that.
So what I say to that is you had that 30 seconds to the not. And now we're going to celebrate that you have a new VIP because that is amazing. So congratulations. And you should be proud of yourself because we can all get in a rut of not doing certain things or not, being happy with our goals, but that is awesome. So you should be proud of yourself. Congratulations. Anyone else? Okay. Well, we're going to move on from that, but you need to celebrate those small wins, guys, because if you're not celebrating the small wins, you're only focusing on what hasn't been accomplished. And that is not fun. And we want this business to be fun, right? So if we're always focusing on what we didn't do and we're beating ourselves down, which I can do all the time. So I'm preaching to the choir here. Then we're going to start doing more of what we're going to talk about today, and that's self-sabotaging. And so I listened to a podcast and I thought, oh my goodness, I self-sabotage a lot. And so I hope that this helps you like it's helping me. So whether you think you self-sabotage or not, we all do it in some way, some form, usually, within the course of our life. I do it a lot with Plexus. And so she talked about there were 3 main types of self-sabotage. So I'm going to talk about those 3 types, and then we're going to talk about different ways that we can try to get out of that self-sabotage habit. So the first one is the researcher, the content consumer, right? We have to have clarity. We need to know more. I can't share until I know X, Y, and Z. Well, now I know all the products forwards and backwards, but I don't know the comp plan well enough. And I don't know this well enough. And you're constantly consuming podcasts, trainings, books, and y'all, that's wonderful, right? It is fabulous to be a constant learner. And we encourage everyone to continuously learn. But if you're only consuming and you're not moving forward in your business, that's where the self-sabotage comes in. And so why do you think you need to know more before you can share, right? It's usually a confidence issue. And so you don't believe that you know enough. And so you're just constantly learning more, but you're never sharing that with anybody. And so you're not moving forward in your business. And like I said, learning is good. And I will tell you all day long, personal development. I have done more personal development in the last 10.5 years than I've ever done in my life, even as a teacher. But just consuming that information is not growing your business. It's actually hurting your business, right? It's not making you money. Just having all of the knowledge up here and never taking a step forward is not making you money. And so in Plexus, right, if you're wanting to grow a business, yes, you can know all the things, but you have to take that action step forward. Okay. A lot of times we think that the more we know, the more we minimize the risk, right? So I know for me, a lot of times it's the risk of failure, the risk of rejection. Honestly, the more I can put it in my head that, well, if I knew the products better, right? Or if I knew this, if I could spout all the compensation plan forwards and backwards, maybe I would get that runner. But y'all, in reality, that runner that I'm looking for, it's my story. It's me sharing with them. It's talking to them. I don't have to know everything. And a lot of times, and it was really neat, at Gold School, they were saying, there was a lady that spoke and she was precious. And she was saying she's a nurse, and actually knowing more has hurt her than it's helped her, because a lot of times people can't relate to that. So knowing more does not minimize the risk, though. It doesn't minimize that risk. And if we want to move forward, failure is going to happen. And to be honest, I don't like failure, just like the rest of us don't like failure. But it's where the growth happens, right? That's where we have to lean in and change things and press forward. And if you look backwards on that failure, yeah, it may still hurt and it may still sting, but it's where that growth happens. And so just remember that. If that's kind of what you're trying to do, is minimize that risk of failure, just remember that that's where the beauty happens. The beauty from the ashes, right? Like I say that a lot. I like the beauty from the ashes, but I really don't want to be in the ashes before the beauty. But we get there and we get through it. And so that is something where we self-sabotage a lot. So more knowledge does not equal more success. You can actually get in a cycle of like, I need to know this, you learn it, and then there's something else and I need to learn it. And it's just a cycle of consume, 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 consume. And we're never pouring out any of that knowledge. So let's see, I have all of my notes here. So let me, I had an example like, so with Plexus, right? I learned a long time ago about triplex, but if I just would have continued on this journey, and when Aaron pops up and goes, but you know what? It's Slim and Balance. And then I'm consuming, I'm learning about Slim and Balance. And now I know about Slim and Balance, but I'm not sharing. And then Annette tells me, you know what, for me, it's Ease and Slim. And then I'm learning and I'm learning and I'm learning. I'm bouncing all over the place and I have a lot of knowledge, but I haven't gained a customer, right? Or a new ambassador. So that is one way you can self-sabotage. Do I have any researchers here? Any consumers? I wish I was more of a researcher, but okay. Thank you for being honest with that, because that is a way, and I don't know, and we'll get into a little bit more in a minute about what that looks like, but do you ever think that of that as being a way you self-sabotage? Yeah. I get it. I'm not a researcher, like I said. I wish I had a little bit more of that in me. So the next one is perfectionist. And at first I was like, oh, that's not me either. And then I started listening and I was like, I have some perfectionist in me, and I didn't think I did. So the perfectionist really just want excellence, right? They want everything they do to be perfect and with excellence. And although that is great and it looks beautiful, it's not always good. Nothing is perfect 100% of the time. Nothing is done with excellence 100% of the time. Yes, we can hold ourselves to high standards, and that is good. But when it starts making you not move forward in action, it's no longer good, right? In that you overthink everything. So for me, here's where I realized that I am a perfectionist. I can make 10 reels because I'm going to make one reel, right? And I can make it over and over and over and over and over again. And then guess what? I end up deleting those 10 reels because it's not perfect, right? And so I'm self-sabotaging. If I would just throw one up and get it done, at least I've done the work. It may not be perfect. It may not be beautiful, but I've done what I needed to do to get somebody's attention. Does that make sense? So a lot of times when you're a perfectionist, you have that self-doubt, and that is what I struggle with. Nothing you ever do is good enough, right? You can get in your head that nothing you ever do is good enough. And we get frustrated and worry that it's not excellent. And if it's not excellent, what does so-and-so have to say about it, right? So then there's that fear of people or fear of judgment from people. And so we sit and we don't do anything, or maybe we do it so much and it has to be so perfect that we can't look at it and go, this is good enough. This will be fine. So, you might do it with a post too. You write a post out. Oh, that doesn't sound good. Oh, let me hear, what Addie says in her post. And then I rewrite it. Oh, hers sounded better, but that doesn't sound like me. So I'm going to rewrite it. And then we never get that post out. And so we're self-sabotaging over and over and over again. Perfection is what we do to avoid failure. And like I said earlier, failure is okay. It's where the beauty comes in. Everyone's going to fail at some point. I had someone ask me the other day at Gold School, they said, how fast did you get to, or how long did you get to Diamond? What do you think is appropriate for me? And I said, oh, I hate that question, because I went Diamond really quickly in 11 months, which yay, right? But I had so many bumps after going Diamond that so many people have maybe getting to Diamond. I've done them after Diamond. And so, yes, it sounds amazing. If I just said 11 months, yeah, 11 months. Can't you do it in 11 months? And I walked off, then they're stuck thinking, they're like, I've already been in this 14 months, right? Like, no. So I think it's important to know that there are bumps along the way and that failure is gonna come somewhere at some time. And it's okay. So the third type of self-sabotage, oh, let me ask you, do I have any other perfectionist? Yay, you're with Beacon, yay, okay, I have some others. And that is, we can cross over, right? And some may have a stronger presence, and then you'll see little bits and pieces, because I also relate with this next one. And this is probably the one I'm the strongest in. It's productive procrastination. And that is, Annette's already raising her hand. So we all know what procrastination is, right? We're putting the things off, but productive procrastination is when we sit down to work and then I make my laundry list of things that need to be done around the house. And then next thing you know, before I've done any work, I'm doing the laundry, I'm doing the dishes, I'm doing anything but my work, right? I'm being productive around my house. I'm not being productive in my work. And so, we're just thinking of all the other things that we need to do, all the things that are more important, right? And those things can be important, but if it's in your time block of work, it's not what you need to be doing. So to be honest, I think the only time I really get excited about doing laundry is when I sit down to work and I know I need to do the hard. And then I'm like, oh, the laundry needs to be done. Kevin will be so happy if all the laundry is done today. So I'm going to go do the laundry, right? So I can procrastinate. Now, there's also things that we can do in our business that are productive procrastination. And so we can use those things to avoid what we truly need to be doing. So I can say, well, I need to scroll social media. I need to be building relationships. Yes, you do. But have you done those other things? Or are you going to do them, or are you going to sit and scroll and scroll and scroll? Or maybe you're like, oh, I know that I need to reach out to Lori because she made a post about, needing some financial direction or whatever. I know I need to reach out to her, but that makes me uncomfortable. So I'm going to check my emails, or I'm going to check Messenger, or I'm going to find some prizes to give away to my team. Those are the fun things, right? And I'm avoiding doing what needs to be done to move my business forward. So it's easy to do the low priority task first instead of the high priority tasks. Not that any of those things are wrong in it, but if we're avoiding doing the hard by using the easy work, we can tell ourselves all day long that we're busy and, oh, I've been working my business. And then we get to the end of the month and we're like, my points didn't move, or I went backwards. And not to say that that can't happen if you're truly working as well. I'm not saying that. But sometimes we get to the end of the month and we can tell ourselves we've been so busy and we've done all the things, and really we didn't do what we needed to do to move our business forward. So those are the three types that on this podcast they were talking about, are the three types of self-sabotage that we can have. I know there are more, and maybe you have one. If somebody wants to share if something's, came to your mind about how you self-sabotage that I didn't say, I would love to hear from you. If anyone has it. Anything else that they said, how they sabotage? No? Okay. So now what I want to do is I want to talk and share just a few ways. You're all three. I know. Isn't it funny how you can figure out like, oh, that's me, and that's me. Yeah, this one hit home to me. That's why I was like, I've got to share about it, because I thought it was so important, because sometimes I don't even realize I'm self-sabotaging. I could sit here for 2 hours and think I'm doing all the things. And I know I'm really avoiding reels and sending the hard message, right? But I can tell myself I've been busy. So I'm going to share some things that were shared with me about how you can work through those 3 different types of self-sabotage. So if you're the researcher, you're always wanting that clarity, right? And sometimes we get stuck looking for clarity. And to be honest, it's an excuse. We say we need that clarity. And sometimes, yes, there are things in our life we do need clarity, but we can get stuck in that cycle of just always looking for the clarity. And it's just an excuse because we don't want to fail. So I loved what I heard on this podcast. She said, clarity is a gift to the action taker. So when you're in action and you have those experiences, that's when the clarity comes a lot of times. And even if if you have faith in God, a lot of times what we say, right, is take that one step forward. He'll tell you if it's not right. And I think that's the same in our business. Move forward. You'll have your clarity. Is that the right direction or not? Constant learning, like I said earlier, is a good thing, but you have to use what you learn. Clarity can be a false sense of self-confidence, right? You aren't looking for clarity, but you're looking for bravery. I loved that. When she said that, I was like, okay, when I get stuck in that cycle, it's not that I really need to know more, right? I don't need more clarity. I need to be brave and share what I've learned. You will gain confidence and bravery the more you do the work. And I couldn't agree more. So once you do the hard thing, your brain's actually going to tell you that it's not that hard. Guys, you didn't die, right? Like it's your brain. So the next time you go to do it, they talked about this Summit Gold School too, that your brain's going to go, I've done that before. I can do that. That's not that hard. I didn't fall over when I was talking in front of people. Not saying it's not going to be scary, but your brain's going to say, I can do that. So when you're stuck in research clarity mode, research just enough. Here's something that she said you could do is research just enough to take the next action step and commit to doing that consistently. So when you're stuck in this cycle, ask yourself, what are you really avoiding? Is it fear? Is it confidence? Is it, fear of people? Are you overwhelmed? Ask yourself, what is it that you're fearing? And then just remember that your failures are gifts. So there's nothing truly to be afraid of. Remember that action is going to bring clarity, and implementing what you learn grows your skill set. So then we have the perfectionist. And like I said earlier, it's okay to have high standards. We don't want a lot of sloppy, right? Like no one appreciates somebody that just doesn't look at punctuation well, I shouldn't even say that because that's not true because, Gen Z doesn't care about punctuation as much, but, you're not going to throw out a lot of a post that has a lot of misspelled words and different things. You are going to take your time and you're going to hold yourself to a high standard. You don't want to give false information, that type of thing. But if that high standard keeps you from taking action, and we're going to keep saying that, taking action, because that's what's important, or moving forward, we need to stop self-sabotaging. The goal isn't perfection. It should be progress. It should be moving forward. So yes, high standard, but our goal should be progress and moving forward. You can always make it better the next time. So if I put out a reel and I'm kind of doing this, I can make it better the next time, but I moved forward and I took a step forward. Can you tell what I don't want to do? Reels. And what I've been convicted I need to do? Reels. So yes, I'm relating a lot of this to me. So you can always make it better the next time. You can refine it and make it better each time, but you don't have to make it perfect the first time. And as you do these things, you're going to get better and better. So the last one, the productive procrastinator. Finding gifts for your team, or like I said, or scrolling Facebook, or just messaging people just to say hi, which are all fine things, are all good. It's not moving your business forward. So what makes you money? Do those things first. Do those things first. Make the fun things the reward for doing the hard things, right? Because I can start looking for gifts for my team. And next thing you know, I've been on Amazon for 30 minutes scrolling through things. And I haven't even told my team, got my team excited about anything we're doing. I haven't done anything to be productive. So do the hard things first, do the fun things as a reward. As we work through self-sabotage, we have to ask ourselves what we are afraid of. It's so important to realize what it is that's making you afraid. So stop avoiding. If you feel overwhelmed or fearful, I want you to set a timer and start. And I know I just said, make the hard things your reward, but if you're super fearful and you're paralyzed and you're not doing anything to move forward, to help you stop avoiding, set a timer. Do one small but productive task first, then work your way to the harder task. Okay, so let those fun things be your reward. So once you're in the habit of it, let those fun things be your reward. But if you are completely stuck and you can't move forward, do one small task. Set that timer for 15 minutes. You have to have that task finished and then move on. Okay. So what I want you to do right now, we're almost done. We have our Work With Me Live next, but I want you to think about which self-sabotage coping you do the most of. Okay. And then I want you to think about what triggers your self-sabotage. Is it fear? Is it fear of failure, fear of rejection, overwhelm, negative self-talk, mindset, belief, whatever it is, you've got to identify that trigger. And then you've got to decide what is your truth. So when we become more self-aware, we catch our self-sabotage more quickly, and then we can get out of it by stating our truth. So my example, I want to make reels, right? I'll make several reels, I'll throw them away, and then I'll trash them, and then I never end up posting one. But what is my trigger? My trigger is fear of what other people will think. Okay, I really struggle with that. And so here's my truth though. God made who I am, right? He made me who I am, and I'm not less or more than others. That is the truth. And what I have to share can impact others for the better. So that's my truth. So when I'm falling all over myself, not wanting to do it, I have to remember that truth. And then I have to get into action. So my challenge to you, we're about to go into Work With Me Live, but my challenge to you is to figure out your self-sabotage, figure out what triggers that self-sabotage, and then what is your truth, and write it down. So, okay, that was a lot of me talking. So we're going to have y'all talk during Work With Me Live if you're staying on. If you're staying on, great. We are so glad that you joined us for our team call. If you can stay on for Work With Me Live, stay on. If you need to jump off, go ahead and do that as well. But we'll see you next Tuesday. Bye, guys. And then Erin, do you want to hand over the host? Or you have to, or did you already do that? You did, okay. And I'll just keep going. Perfect. Okay, so I think, Erin, did you need to jump off? I didn't want to make you stay if you needed to jump off.
I can for a little bit, and then I'll jump off.
Awesome. Okay, sorry.
Thank you.
Okay, moving into Work With Me Live. So thank y'all for staying on for Work With Me Live. We're going to take the next 25, 30 minutes to get busy. So let me see real quick. What did Shonda say? Gold School said that people relate to us better when we were not experts. Absolutely. Yes, you're right. And I loved that because I was like, because I'm not an expert. So I did like that. If you have not been, let's give a little plug. We can give a little plug real quick about Gold School. If you haven't been to Gold School, do everything you can to get to Gold School. It's amazing. I loved it. Shonda, what did you think? Did you have any takeaways?
I thought it was extremely well executed. It was a fun day. It was definitely rejuvenating in terms of getting your motivation and your attitude up and being surrounded by so many people that are just like you, doing what you do and struggling the same struggles. It was just like amazing just to have that support. I did feel like the guidebook that we were given is literally gold.
Yes, it is. It is. And I have some verbiage from that today. So I agree. It was so good. And I loved getting to meet you. So I was so glad you walked over and introduced yourself. And that was awesome. So, okay. So jumping into work. Sometimes at the end of the month, we can shy away from our back office, and we're going to open that up in a little while. So if you want to get that ready, you can. We are going to start though with, I was going to start with the easy, but we're going to start with the hard after the self-sabotage, right? Or what I consider harder for me. So what we're going to do is I want you to start thinking about friends that have had a problem. And this is where that gold school verbiage is going to come in that you know about. Maybe you know about a health problem, or maybe you know about a financial problem. And we're going to be bold, and we're going to be brave, and we're going to reach out to them and offer our help. Y'all, it was so cool. At Gold School, we took 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes, and we sat and we did voice messages, and we messaged people, and we reached out, and people were getting yeses that yes, people wanted. The goal was to get no's, to get 3 no's, right? But people, person after person, I got a yes. They want to hear more about Plexus. Yes, I want to hear about the business. Yes, yes. And we're like, that's amazing. So it shows that it works. So when you're reaching out to people, here's the verbiage, and I'll put it in our chat. So if you are leading with the product, this is the Gold School post, and so it's golden. It says, I saw your post the other day about not feeling your best, or you and I have talked about you not feeling your best and wanted to reach out to you because I've heard the same story so many times. I too, or my friend Annette, has had a similar issue. I wanted to share what I or they did to get their life back. And so you can send this message. And of course, it's always good to end with a question. So if you wanted to put in there, oh, I've got to put it off here. Can I share more? Yes. Whatever it is that, ask them a question to get them talking. And I just took my screen off, so I might be crazy looking right now. But anyways, I'm going to post this in here in just a second. And I want you to go ahead and start thinking about those people. And oh, no, not yet. Yes, go ahead. Let's lead with the product first. Let's think of people that need this product. Remember, don't just copy and paste mine 100% because I had to, I put in, I, me, that type of thing. But I'm going to put it in the chat, and you can change it up, make it sound like you. Voice messages are always better. But these are for leading with the product. So go ahead and take the next 7 minutes and reach out. Okay, let's finish that one up. And then let's go into reaching out about the opportunity. Of course, picking up the phone and calling is always a great idea. But you can also voice message and then, of course, text. So whatever's working for you, do it. Just make sure you're getting those messages out there, right? So this is going to be the verbiage. This is another Gold School verbiage. This is for leading with the opportunity. So this is what you can say. Your post, remember, we're looking for anything that maybe they've said or posted about that maybe they could use our business. So your post or conversation the other day about wanting more time off with your kiddos reminded me of my story, or you could say your friend's story. I know we've never talked about the Plexus business income opportunity, but you need to hear the whole story and decide if this might be a fit for you, like it was for me or my friend. We can have a quick chat and you can check it out for yourself and decide if this might be a fit for you. And put that in the chat. So I want you to think of those people and remember, make it yours, but think of those people that could really benefit, that could benefit from the opportunity. And y'all, right now, if you think about it, not only can they go Fast Start Silver and get that bonus, but y'all, they could, if they add the 6, there's that extra $400 bonus, right? So say they join, I mean, today would be fabulous, right? And then they get that 6 in February or whatever, or maybe they get 6 by tomorrow. Don't ever underestimate what somebody can do. Think about that. If they have 6 friends that want to do, and I know that that can seem a little big and overwhelming, but people do it all the time. So reach out to those people and see if they want to get started and see if they have friends that wanted to get started. If they added 6 by tomorrow, they'd go not only Fast Start Silver, they get that add 6 bonus. And then next month, when they have those 6, that retention, they'd have that bonus and they could work on adding more. So, it's doable. It is doable. So I want you reaching out to those people. Who do you think could really benefit from extra income? And let's take the next 7 minutes. Okay, let's finish that one up. Okay, so for the next few minutes, what we're gonna do, you can do whatever it is that you need to take care of, but here are some suggestions. Look in your back office, right? And let's look at our levels 1 through 3. And this is kind of low hanging fruit, right? Like they've ordered recently, but not last month or this month. I want you, and I say low hanging fruit, that's not a bad term. That just means it's easier to grab, right? So look at your levels 1 through 3 and then tell them, reach out to anybody that did not order in December and has not ordered in January and tell them about the Save 10 offer. So what that is it's a code just like Give 10 for a new person. Give them Save 10 and they only have to spend $50 and they get $10 off. That's a deal, right? And so, but it's on a discretionary order. It's not on a subscription. So if you get them to order this month, you can always go back and tell them to set up their subscription next month. But so some wording that I had, and it's really going to depend on who you're talking to, right? But I had, it says, hi, whoever, I was given a special discount for my friends that didn't order in December. I know the holidays can get crazy. See, now we've taken that off of them as to why they didn't order. We're not asking why. We're just saying we know the holidays can get busy and crazy. I have a $10 off coupon if you would like to start your Plexus journey again, because we also know they didn't start this month, right? So we have that. Or if you know somebody really loved the products and maybe they said, you know what, I have too many products. Well, we know they're probably not taking them correctly, right? But we can always say this, hey, I know you love taking ProBio 5 and BioCleanse and that your digestive issues have been improving, and I'm so happy for you. I know you said that you have too much product, so you haven't ordered recently. I have a $10 off of a $50 order. Would you like for me to send it to you so you will be ready to go with your products in February? If you still have too much ProBio 5 and BioCleanse, this is a great opportunity to try something new. So I'll put both of those in our chat, but go ahead, we'll do that for the next 5 minutes or so, and then we'll wrap it up. If I can get these to you. Okay, that we're getting close to time, so I don't want to go over. I want to respect your time, but you could keep working on that. I'm sure you see how you could be look because it takes a little bit of time to find those people. So work on that the rest of today and tomorrow, and hopefully you'll get a couple of yeses in there. But anyways, thank y'all for sticking with me through the team call and work with me live, and we will see you next time. Bye, guys.